All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, very excited to be talking to an individual who's going to be fighting on April the 16th, UFC Fight Night, and we've got Rafa Garcia testing skills with Jesse Ronson, and happy to be having Jesse back on the show. How are you feeling heading into this one, man? I imagine you're quite excited.
Yeah, there's a lot of pent-up aggression and rage. I feel like I've missed out on a lot of opportunities having to sit on the sidelines for 20 months. So, I've been preparing hard because I got 20 months of fighting to make up. So I want to fight as much as I can this year. So I got to make quick work of Rafa Garcia.
Yeah, I was hearing the dad joke you were dropping too in that MMA Sucka interview there. You're like, oh, I can't have a whole Garcia. I got to fight Rafa Garcia. I thought that was pretty good.
Right? That's off the top right there.
Yeah, but I mean, I imagine it's a huge relief just getting back as well, just with the whole, tainted supplement, like USADA controversy. Like, I mean, it seemed like you were, very stressed about that because, using performance enhancers doesn't align with your approach to the whole thing. So is there like a pronounced level of relief just kind of having that in the rear view and just getting back to doing what you love?
Oh, for sure. March 22nd, the suspension's officially over. But yeah, it was a very fucking dark time because I've been against that stuff. I've been very vocal in the past about people who've used it. So I felt like such a huge I felt like a huge idiot when it happened to me. I was like, oh my God, like it was, especially because I didn't purposely do it. So it's like, how do I prove it? And people don't care. The haters are still going to hate whether you could prove it or not. It's just like, well, what the fuck? There's just people out there that just love to watch the world burn, and they get under your skin after a while. And like, it was just super annoying. And like I said, when it happened to me, it put me in a very dark place. I had some, contemplated just fucking ending everything, my life, my career, whatever. It was a dark 10 days, and I was just like, fuck this. I've overcome a lot of shit in my life, and I've persevered. I'm going to overcome this, and I'm going to come back even stronger. It just makes my story more movie-esque. It can really inspire people, and I've had a lot of people message me recently being like, it's super inspiring how you never gave up. You've had one of the hardest, if not the hardest roads for a fighting career ever, and you still haven't given up. You're still trying to pursue that dream and make it work.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you were able to overcome that dark time, man. Glad you're still around and were able to kind of address those feelings. But it's great that there were some people reaching out in like a positive kind of sense there, because like I'd seen a prior interview of yours and just, I mean, I guess I'm surprised and not surprised. Like there's people who are saying like, oh, I tainted your drink, and people just being like super like mean-spirited, like just trying to get a reaction. I don't really, yeah.
That was annoying. Like a couple of weeks out, not even a couple of weeks, like a few days afterwards, it's like I get a guy being like, yeah, you don't know me or you don't remember me, but, I fucking put this in your drink. Or I was like, come the fuck on. Because at that point, I was literally scrambling. Like, I remember messaging my manager being like, I've got a guy who's literally saying that he's the one that fucking drugged me and what drug he used. I'm like, can we use this? They're like, unless we can find this dude and get him to fucking testify saying that he did it, it won't work. So then I was like chasing this guy, trying to get him to be like, hey man, who are you? Like, if you drugged me, like, what's... And then more people started coming out saying that they did it because they just hate me. Just the other day, Aaron Bronstetter said something about how the electricity in the arena felt. And I was like, in England, I was like, you should try, pull some strings and come to Canada. And he's just like, I like that you would think that I have that much pull or whatever. I'm like, well, you can be in the boss's ear. Some guy from Denmark, because I fought Dolby and that's where I tested positive, commented on it on Twitter being like, yeah, but you probably get benched because of the PEDs you take. Like, people are still shitting on me for it. It's like, get over it. Yeah, I smashed your boy. I tested positive for something that I didn't purposely take, but yeah, sorry for ruining your fucking life, you scrub. Like, get over it already. Some people can't.
It just strikes me as very strange. Like, it feels like there's a pronounced separation some people have because, like, they look at, like, oh, this is like a guy in the UFC and da-da-da-da-da, but they're just being, so needlessly, mean-spirited. It's like that, that's a person at the end of the day, but it seems like there's this, like, pronounced separation between, like, oh, there's this person of notoriety, they know what they signed up for, they should, like, take this. It's just, I find it very weird that there's that kind of dynamic. Have you noticed that more so, like, being on that like UFC level again, reintegrating yourself into that, and like I guess can you speak to that? Do you think that's a fair characterization? Like some fans almost have like a strange separation from like the fact that you're just a human being, and then more looking at it that you're well, he's a UFC fighter, he knew what he signed up for. Like,
oh yeah, there's a ton of people. Like, there's so many memes out there where it's like the 480-pound fat guy eating Cheetos on the couch that was like, football player throws ball and misses catch. He's like, oh, what a fucking idiot. I would have caught that. Like, there's so many armchair quarterbacks and people out there. Like I said, they just want to watch the world burn. It's like they themselves know they could never do what we do, but they just shit on. It's because they have the safety of being behind a computer when they say that stuff. And it's just, like I said, people just want to hate for the sake of hating, because they can't be you. And it's just, I've recognized that, and I'm like, you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. People are going to hate me. The people that hate me are always going to hate me. Thank you. And the people that love and care about me are always going to love and care about me, right? So I got those people, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, for sure, man. Just a strange certain lack of humanity sometimes with those people online. But something that wasn't lacking in the humanity was that BTC14 Clash card in London. I imagine that was fun for you to be at. Just obviously you have a lot of love for London, very much tied into that for a while. And just how was the night there, just being there for BTC 14? I feel like I saw you there with Urgus Segeta at a couple points.
Yeah, Urgus is a great guy. I love hanging out with him. Him and I, like, we get along great. We, crack a lot of jokes. I like training with him too. I didn't get to watch very many fights because I had a guy fighting, Pat McInnes, and he was pretty high up on the card. So I came out, I think it was halfway through the second round of Chrisley Byrne and Simon Marini. And Chrisley Byrne won that fight, but I don't know how he fucking won that partner. I don't know how he won that fight. Like, I thought Simon had that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how he won that. It's not on me. It wasn't up to me. Whatever the judges saw, what they saw, they gave it to him. But everybody that I've talked to about that thought that Simon won. It is what it is. But then, yeah, the Scott Hudson Xavier Nash fight was amazing, and same with the Adam Asenza fight. That was a great fight. He's a good friend of mine too. Good to see him pull off a win and do some pretty exciting shit too. That spinning wheel kick that clapped him, that was awesome. Yeah, it was a good night. I'm glad they came to London. It's at one point, London was the town where it's like everybody loves MMA, but nobody wants to support it. That was like 2014 when I fought, what the hell is his name? Dom O'Grady at the Budweiser Gardens for knockout kidney disease. That show should have done way better than what it did. Because like I said, everybody loves MMA in Ontario, or in London, sorry, but they just don't want to go out and support it. It's like, what the hell? You're going to spend $100 at the bar anyways. Why not buy a ticket? And there's a lot of hate and pent-up aggression for when I was, locally fighting, because nobody wanted to come out because they didn't want to spend the money. But now, at least, it's good to see that people support it.
Yeah, I guess showing like the evolution of the whole thing, and just, yeah, that is a strange kind of dynamic. You'd think if people were really into supporting MMA, they'd want to be checking it out a fair bit. But you mentioned, Scott Hudson and Adam Asenza there. It seems like you've also been training with those guys a fair bit as of late. And I'm just kind of wondering, is it a fair bit of like cross training for this camp? Like, have you been able to get any work out of Adrenaline MMA? Like, what's the dynamics been in that regard?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of guys at Adrenaline that I can just pick and choose from. With the amount that the length that I've been in this sport, like I can look at a guy and I can go, all right, he may be like one-dimensional. He may be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu dude, but he's the same build. He's the same reach, the same height as this guy. I'm like, I can use this guy for looks and to try techniques. Same with wrestlers, same with strikers, right? I can get decent work and decent training out of anybody, and then when I put it together, it just works out really, really well. But yeah, I've recently just reached out to Zach Powell. I don't know if you know Zach Powell.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go spar with him Saturday at BTC, like the next couple of weeks, because he's a young guy, 5-1, 6-1, go-getter, likes to put on a lot of pressure. He looks like he could be a very useful individual for my fight coming up, so I'm getting my last 3 sparring sessions in with Zach Powell, so I'm looking forward to that.
Is that because you see certain, like, I guess, physique similarities or, like, overlapping, like, style traits between Powell and Rafa Garcia there? Because I heard other interviews where you're describing him as like a tough wrestle boxer, can mix the skills pretty well. Is there a certain yeah?
That's exactly it. And Zachy Powell is just like, he's hungry and he wants it. So it's like, it's not like I'm going in there to fucking destroy somebody. He's gonna give me some really good work. He seems like a really good training partner, a guy I can trust not to fucking hurt me, because there's so many people out there. They're like, oh, you're in the UFC. Oh, you're this guy. I know who you are. And they're absolute dickheads when it comes to training. And they just try to beat you take advantage of every little thing that they can, just so they can be like, oh yeah, I beat up Jesse Ronson in the UFC. I belong there. It's like, I don't need guys like that. And I had a good conversation with Zach, and he's down to get some good work in. And like I said, he's a tough, grindy guy. Like, he's willing to stay in my face, just like Rafa Garcia. Now, will Zach Powell bomb overhands and left hooks and look for high crotches on me? Sure, I don't care what he does. He's just, he's shorter than me, so he's like 5'8", 5'9", but like I said, a tough, strong wrestler. He's got a great coach in Prickett, so it's like he can do everything that Rafa Garcia can, and more. So I'm looking forward to it. It's just going to be great work.
Yeah, and that is a curious gym dynamic. I guess with a guy like Zach Powell, I feel like he would be more measured and like a cooperative kind of partner because he has those broader aspirations. Whereas I feel like the guys who are like trying to get one over on you and go like way too hard in a sparring context are probably not even going to like fight on a local show. It's probably just some like weird like scrub sort of dudes almost. Like, that must be a curious dynamic in the gym. Like, how do you like handle that, I guess, when the guys try to like really push that pace or whatever, and it's just like some guy who clearly isn't going to be on that like UFC level or in any other promotions? Like, how do you go about handling that? I imagine that's fairly frustrating in a few regards.
Well, generally like a month out. Like, I don't train with anybody I don't know. Like, if you're not somebody that I train with on a weekly basis, like multiple times a week, get the fuck away from me. I don't want anything to do with you. I can't afford to get injured. I can't afford to, want you to boost your ego, whether it's sparring, drilling, whatever it is. Like, you'd be surprised the amount of people that are like, oh, I took Ronson down, like I took down a UFC fighter. It's like, okay, good for you. And it's like, you'd be surprised the lengths that these fucking assholes will go to just to get you down, or to say they tapped you out, or they were on top of me, or they mount whatever. It's annoying. So like I said, about a month out, like, I really lock down the camp and make sure that the people that I'm training with, I get good work out of. But yeah, it's happened my whole life, or like my whole career, especially coming out of adrenaline when Mark, Sam, and Chris were Mark and Sam were in the UFC, and Lordesky was like Affliction, IFL, wherever it was. But our gym was like the gym to go to spar. We'd have people coming from all over, like, oh yeah, if I can hang with these guys, I'm ready for the next level. It's like, buddy, just because you can hang with these people doesn't mean you're ever going to make it even close to the next level. It does, like, it's, again, a weird way of people. I don't know how people think. It's weird. Fighters are weird. We're a weird breed, man. And yeah, anybody, like, people just want to say what they can say to tell stories around the fire or at parties or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely curious dynamic. I mean, yeah, it's like a lot of the people too who like think like a sparring situation is like a live fight, and it's like gauging their aptitude for how they could do. But yeah, I mean, whatever. I imagine you find it far more frustrating than I ever would. But I thought it was cool seeing you like working with like Matt Speciale, and I'm kind of wondering, is that like a relatively recent kind of partnership there? Because it seems like it's like really informed the weight cut, and I assume like subsequent weight cuts there. Is that like a relatively new partnership with Bearded Bites there?
Yeah, I reached out to him, I think November or December. I'm like, look, dude, I'm going to have some weight to cut, and like I've seen your stories. I know like a lot of fighters recommend you, and they weren't wrong. Everybody that's left a review with me, or everybody that's asked about Matty, has been right, because I started January pretty freaking heavy. I've lost a ton of weight. I feel great. I'm eating more than I've ever eaten. It's like, it's so specific for fighters. Like, this is the diet. I've had dietitians before, been on other diets, but it's just like, yeah, I've lost the weight, but it's like, training's been met. Like, this training camp is like, this diet is specific for fighting, for training. Like, you have the energy, you have the fuel, you're still losing the weight. It's like, I didn't trust it at first when I first got there. I was like, you want me to eat all this? He goes, yeah, bro, your focus is to train and get ready. My focus is to get you to lose weight. So I'm like, well, what if I don't lose weight? He's like, well, either you're cheating or this diet's not right for you. And I'm not the guy to cheat on my diet because I needed to lose the weight and I wanted to perform. So it's just worked really, really well. And the guy's a genius. He's I guess he's a specialist. Matt Speciale, the specialist.
Yeah, it works out. It sounds like he's like a wrestling character almost. Like anytime I see his name, I'm like, oh, that kind of like that makes sense. It ties in pretty well.
Like a wrestling character. The guy's fucking cut from stone, man.
Yeah, but speaking of wrestling characters, I saw you had a tweet there a decent bit ago, like late 2020, when you said it's a good day when John Cena followed me back. Are you a John Cena fan there?
I used to be really, really big into wrestling. I like John Cena because he's changed his character dynamic in WWE really well, and then like all of the Make-A-Wish stuff that he does, he's got a really big heart. And then you watch his movies, he's not just a big dumb plug. He does comedy roles, he does drama roles. Like the guy can do it all. He just seems like a very, very likable dude. And yeah, John he's okay in my books. I like him.
Yeah, for sure. Fun to see that popping up there. But yeah, I'm kind of curious if there's anything you might want to sort of add as a parting thought as we're kind of wrapping up here. Like I said, I imagine you're quite busy. Always good getting to chat with you there. But is there anything you might want to add as a parting thought? Like maybe a shout out to Faisal?
We were on the topic. I wish that they actually came out with the Duke Nukem movie where John Cena was going to play him. They made a poster of John Cena with the Duke Nukem clothes on, and I was like, oh my, I got so excited. Sorry, my train of thought went that way.
Well, that would be great.
It happened, but I don't know if it is or didn't happen, but it is. But as for parting thoughts, yeah, man, training's going well. I'm uninjured. I haven't had to take any time off for minor injuries or anything like that. I'm eating more. I love it. Weight's low. I'm fucking jacked and ripped and strong. I feel like Mike Tyson when he first got out of jail, minus the rape charge, because I just want to destroy somebody, and it's going to be Rafa Garcia, So I got to thank, my gym, Adrenaline, Diablo Boxing, Adam Hickson, Andrew Elliott, Brad Fowler, Jesse Goff. My training partner is Ennis, Pat McInnes, Raph, Bill Jenges, Zach Powell coming up. Everybody else that's helped me. It's just been, a lot of people have come out of the woodwork to help me, but then there's also been people that I've reached out to ask for help that I thought would help me, but they're just little bitches and always come up with excuses, or they're like, oh, it's not a priority of mine to help you. All right, cool. Well, don't say that you're a fighter or you're a savage, But like I said, a lot of people have come out to help me, and a lot of people who I thought would help me wouldn't. So you get to see people's true colors, and I'm just looking forward to fight finally April 16th.
Yeah, getting in good work with some great names from what I could tell. Like I think I also had seen TJ Laramie was someone you were working with. So I mean, you got a great group of people, and I think the prep is really going to shine through April 16th. Going to be a great UFC fight night. Rafa Garcia versus Jesse Ronson, a fight I'm certainly looking forward to. And yeah, always fun getting to talk, Jesse. Thanks for coming on the show again, and have a good rest of your day too, man.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.